Okay, this is the situation at the end of turn 3. Breakthrough to Frankfort, World at War 85. Now I'm going to have a quick couple of criticisms of this game. Now firstly, there aren't enough counters of certain things on these huge scenarios like this. I've run out of BRDM2 armoured reconnaissance vehicles. I've got all 3 of the counter sheet on the board, and it says I need to add 2 more. So I've got the option of adding BRDM ATs or not adding them at all. I don't really know what to do, because the BRM AT is a more powerful unit, and the fact that it's got anti-tank capability. So that's one criticism. Next criticism is the way these scenarios are laid out. Instead of sort of saying your reinforcements for turn 1 all in one place, your NATO and your Warsaw Pact are actually in different places. So that means you have to go back. So you mean you just got to search in 2 places to find the reinforcements. It's no great hassle, but it could have been done better. Another thing to look at is the fact that they're not all. Most things are in turn order, so you say, all right, that's on turn 6, that's on turn 7, that's on turn. But there are things that are not in turn sequence. For example, this one, right at the back of the NATO reinforcements, is a turn 3 reinforcement. Now that's bad. They should all be in the same place for the turn. Preferably NATO and Warsaw Pact and everything in the same area of the scenario booklet. Splitting them up, that's forgivable, but that isn't. Putting a reinforcement that's due for turn 3 at the back of all the reinforcements. So the last one's turn 10. That's not forgivable. Next we go on to the index. Now the index, I sort of praise them for doing this index, but it's a real cack-handed index. Instead of everything being like in order, alphabetic order, like a proper index, it groups things. So if I was going to say I want to look at concealment, you'd think, oh yeah, go to concealment. That will be under C. Well, it isn't. It's under, I think it's under direct fire modifier somewhere. So it splits it up into sections, and then it's alphabetical within those split sections, but things aren't in true alphabetical order. It really makes the whole point of having the index. It doesn't completely ruin it, but it makes it a lot more difficult to find things than it should have been, which is a shame. Anyway, so if we go to C, we've got card, chemical, close air support command. Was nothing about concealment. There you are, concealment's under D. Yeah, defensive bonus. Some might not even know that concealment gives a defensive bonus. It might just mean you can't see the unit. But you see, it's just not good enough, I'm afraid. It's a bit of a shame, because this game does do things exceptionally well in a lot of cases, but it has let itself down. Now, another thing I would criticise is these gigantic charts. They're unmanageable, basically. Oh, a great idea, but should have been done on much smaller charts, more manageable charts. I've already said I love the cards. Great idea, fantastic. They serve the same purpose as these, but it's an individual thing. Some people might say, well, I just want the one sheet with everything, and others might say, well, I want to see I want the cards. I guess any other things that I've got against this game at this particular moment? Not really. One thing I would, one other thing, I'm not sure about the way infantry, they get a 2d6 defense roll at a rating of 5 inside cities. I would say infantry in modern warfare are really, really difficult to dislodge. And I would say that should be a 3d6 in a city, maybe a 2d6 in a town, and a 1d6 in a village, but the game doesn't handle urban areas in that method. It just has cities only. So that would be a slight critique. Anyway, it's the end of the third turn. The Soviets have got a lot more, I say Soviets, Warsaw Pact have got a lot more reinforcements on the board, and they've got more stuff arriving this turn. Germans, they got a couple of reinforcements, West German stuff arrived here. They're not really sure what to do. Get rid of those out of command markers for a moment. That electronic warfare goes down to waning. The Germans aren't really sure what to do here, whether they should move forward or should defend on the line of where the actual objective hexes are. The problem with doing that is I think it invites a lot of pressure on the objective hexes and probably make things easy for the Soviets, but I'm worried if I push forward I will get exposed because I'm going to be heavily outnumbered by the look of it at this particular point in time. So they're sort of doing a half-hearted thing. They're moving forward and trying to get into some good positions where they can conceal themselves and have some opportunity fire shots. Other thing that's happened is the battlefield, can't think of the exact term of it. Anyway, the battlefield friction card came out, and the weather has turned to heavy rain. So that means there's mud on the board, and there's restrictions on line of sight. Long range fire is penalised. -1's all movement of ground units. No air support. There's something else there. V defensive bonus. I can't. I'd have to look at that. So I've marked that with that big yellow sticker because I always forget weather effects, always, unless I put these huge reminders on the board, so I can't miss them. Anyway, it's a good game. Shame I had to make a few criticisms at the start of the game, but that's just my observations at this particular moment.